Shooting under night vision is one of my very favorite things to do. And having an effective laser aiming module just makes the whole experience much easier, much more enjoyable. Now there is, of course, a time and a place for passive aiming, near peer conflict, if you're up against an enemy that also has night vision and you don't want to have a IR signature. But for most of us that are shooting under night vision, we're just out there having fun training under night vision, and being able to have an IR laser and IR illuminator makes a very big difference with being able to positively identify your targets with the illuminator and being able to aim with the laser. It's just easier than passive aiming. And so I think that if you are going to shoot under night vision, having a good laser is important. This one right here is the RovyVon GL4 Pro. And the great thing about this, there's a few things. A big one is the price. Laser aiming modules are generally very expensive, but there are a few options now on the market that are pretty affordable and pretty good. Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. So when I first got into night vision and I first started looking at laser aiming modules, I was amazed how expensive they were. Everything for night vision is expensive. But one thing I kept seeing was about the RovyVon GL4. This is the all-new GL4 Pro, and it has some major upgrades. This is 7075 T6 aluminum. It's designed to go on a handgun, on a pistol. And you can see here it has your regular weapon mounted light type of switches there. And even when RovyVon emailed me and reached out to me to send me this for review, they call it a weapon mounted light. I'm using it as a rifle mounted laser aiming module, and it works surprisingly well. It's also very small, and that is nice. Especially, I put it on my 14.5 inch here, and my other laser aiming modules, 10.3 inch Mark 18, 8 inch, 9mm AR here. With something as long as a 14.5 inch, especially when you have a suppressor and a weapon mounted light and all this stuff, you don't really want a whole lot of added weight and bulk out front here. And so having something compact and lightweight is really nice. And as you can see, it even has its own weapon mounted light built in. So you don't really need to run another light. If you wanted to put it on something small, it would work great on this MP5K if I had, a rail on it. Instead of going the classic route, something like this would be great for a PDW setup where you're trying to maintain a small footprint, but have all of the features and effectiveness of a 4-in-1 laser aiming module. When I say 4-in-1, what do I mean? I mean white light, green visible laser, IR illuminator, IR laser, and it does have all 4 of those, and I will show you all of those in this video. I went out last weekend and did a bunch of shooting with this, and it worked great. It has, for its size, I'm actually very, very impressed with the output. We're going to talk about the form factor a little bit when we look at it up close, because that's one of the great things too. But I want to talk about the illuminator first really quickly, because all of the other IR illuminators I've used, you get a very defined circle of illumination. This one isn't just that way. This one just illuminates everything, and not in a way that you would think where it's kind of just a weak thing. It illuminated it very well. I had no problem seeing and identifying targets that I was having a problem seeing under night vision because I went out on a very cloudy night. This video is sponsored by Aura. So a laser aiming module like this, it helps you to identify threats and then take care of them with the laser. Well, Aura does the same thing for your online threats, and it does it just as effectively. It's actually pretty crazy. I downloaded Aura over a year ago now, and I've been using it ever since. The very first day that I downloaded it, they went online, they scoured the internet, the dark web. They found everywhere where my data had been leaked and was being sold by data brokers to scammers and spammers and advertisement companies. And they submitted opt-out requests on my behalf, taking me off of those lists, which the data brokers have to do legally if they get a professional opt-out request, and Aura does that for you. They do a lot more for you as well, and you can try it out for free for 2 weeks, 14 days, with my link, aura.com/sawtoothtactical. What else do they do for you? Well, they give you a VPN. A VPN is very important these days if you want to be able to browse the internet safely and anonymously. They also manage your passwords for you. They give you home title monitoring, 3-bureau credit monitoring, parental controls, scam call protection. All of this stuff, they protect you from data leaks. They do it all. And, instead of buying each one of these things separately and paying a bunch of money every month, Aura does it all for just $12 a month. But again, if you use my link down below, you could try it out for 2 weeks. Absolutely free. Decide if you like it. Decide if it's right for you or not before you even spend a dime. That link again is aura.com/sawtoothtactical. So this is the GL4 Pro close up here. As you can see, it looks like it's upside down. If you look at all the lettering and stuff, and we're going to talk about that when it comes to zeroing, because that was a little bit interesting. Easy, but interesting. It's designed to go on a pistol, but it does come with, I don't know if it comes with it, maybe you buy this separately. They sent me a remote switch that connects to it very easily, super easy to hook up, and it doesn't take up a lot of space on the rail, which I like. I do think that I need to move my buttons back now. I'd left my mod light button in the same spot here, and I accidentally hit the light instead of the laser one of the times while I was out shooting. So I do think I'll move the mod light button back, move this button where the mod button is, and I think that'll be perfect for where my hands are on this. But the nice thing is, you can easily fit 2 buttons on here on the rail because it's not some big bulky thing. Now it does also have these kind of switches, which if you use it on a pistol or a PDW, that's probably what you'd want to use. They're similar to like Streamlight or Surefire switches for a pistol mounted light. Now, like I said, 7075 T6 aluminum, so it is totally durable. As you can see, the windage and elevation turrets here, and they have very positive, tactile, audible clicks, which was really nice when it came to zeroing it. Now, the interesting thing when zeroing it is, as you see here, POI, that's point of impact, up, down. Well, it's backwards because I have it mounted upside down on top of my rail instead of the other way on the bottom of a pistol rail. So just remember that when you're zeroing it. If you do use it on a rifle like I am, your POI is the opposite. Up will actually move your laser up and down will move it down instead of your point of impact. And same thing with your left and right because now it's on the opposite side of where it would be if it was mounted on a pistol. So just something to remember. Now I think that zeroing laser aiming modules is extremely easy because what I do is I slave it to my optic zero. So you just turn your optic down, look through it with night vision, and line up your laser to the center dot on your EOTech or whatever optic you're using. You could also just use the visible laser to zero it, and do it during the day, but I don't know. I did it at night with my night vision. I've done that with all my laser aiming modules. It's extremely easy. As you can see, it also has a visible white light here. So it's got a visible white light, visible green laser, IR illuminator, IR laser, all in this very small package, and they're plenty powerful. Right here, it does tell you what the different positions are, and this is how you switch between them. 4 is off here, 5 is your IR illuminator and IR laser. You just move this to the different positions. Now, it's not as easy to do under night vision as some other LAMs that I've used, but it's also not difficult, and it's kind of one of those things that you set and forget. I like to use both the illuminator and laser in IR mode when I'm out shooting under nods. So I just set it to that before I go to the range. But it is pretty easy to use with your fingers. You can feel it easily. It tells you what each one is. Again, it's upside down because designed to go on the bottom of a pistol rail. But it was super easy to use. And, you know, with my nods, I can just turn the illuminator on and close my irises and be able to focus up close. So if I do need to switch this while under night vision, I can do that and see it pretty well. Now I'm going to turn off the lights in the studio and show you guys what the white light and the visible green laser look like as far as output here in the studio. I got some first person footage through the nods of what that looks like at the range. The very unfortunate thing, so, you know, I do shooting under night vision and I just film it with a camera, film myself shooting. And then to get what it looks like through the nods, I have to do this whole setup where I put my rifle in a tripod and then I hook up one of the tubes of my night vision to my camera. I've got this whole thing that sets it up. And then I have to hold that in one hand, and so I can't really shoot a rifle with one hand. So I have the rifle in the tripod, and I can hold the night vision and the camera and show you guys what it looks like shooting it. I got that all set up. Everything was looking good. It was after I'd already been shooting all night. I had about a half a mag left to do that with and get that footage. Shot through the rest of the rounds and realized I had never hit record. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. So what you just saw there was me thinking that I turned the camera on and I turned it off. And I was like, oh no. But I did get footage of what the laser and illuminator look like, at least through nods. Let me show you what the visible laser and the white light look like now. So here is the visible white light, and that's compared to the mod light. I think I need to charge my mod light battery. Mod light, RovyVon GL4 light right there. Let's see the laser. Green visible laser, pretty dang decent. Now, of course, this is civilian powered. It is not full power, but I mean, it works just fine. And then this is the white light with the green visible laser. Honestly, pretty comparable to other units that I have experience with. For its size, I'm very impressed with the output. So why would you buy the RovyVon GL4 Pro instead of something else that's on the market? I think the biggest thing is two reasons. Number one is its size and weight and footprint profile. So the old one that they had was a quick release, a QD system. This one has an actual just cross bolt locking system, which is much more solid on the rail. I mean, this thing, yeah, it's totally solid on a Picatinny rail, and it'll work on any size rail if you have one that's like non-standard. So I think that's pretty cool. That was one of the biggest reasons I mounted it on my rifle here, and it's worked great on it. The size, it's nice and compact. If you're trying to use it on some kind of PDW setup, I think it's perfect for that. But I also think it's perfect for something like this, where it's a longer rifle, longer rail, and I don't really want extra weight on the front of it weighing me down. That's why I put it on my 14.5 inch. The other big reason is the price. This comes in at a very affordable price, and I do have a 10% discount code down in the description down there. So check that out and use it to great effect. Laser aiming modules are expensive. The RovyVon GL4 Pro has been out for a while now, at least the GL4. The Pro is actually very new with the cross bolt mounting system. But this is kind of proven at this point. I remember doing research before I bought my first laser aiming module, and there were channels that specialize in night vision stuff, and IR lasers. And most of them, there's videos like the king of budget LAMs, stuff like that. And I can see why now. It seems very high quality as far as the build quality. Like I said, zeroing it, like very tactile, obvious clicks, which is nice. You don't get that sometimes on budget things. The IR illuminator and laser were very usable. I had no problem, seeing my targets with the illuminator much better than I could just through night vision on a cloudy night, and then hitting those targets with the laser just fine. It made it very easy. It did exactly what I want an IR laser and IR illuminator to do. Will I use the white light and visible laser? Probably not a whole lot, but that's just me. I don't usually shoot with visible lasers because during the day I'm going to use my optic, and I already have a mod light on here, but that's just because that's what my setup is. If you're buying this to put on something that you don't have set up with a light already, it's pretty cool that you get a white light with it as well. That seems to be a popular trend now with laser aiming modules. Both of my other ones also have a white light built into them. Both of them are also on rifles that have mod lights. Because I set everything up with white lights before I got into night vision. So now everything that I have with a LAM just has 2 white lights on it. But you know what? 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Redundancy is not a bad thing. As you saw when I had the lights turned off there, my mod light battery is not supercharged. If that went out and I needed white light, it's nice to have a backup white light there too. So not a bad feature to have, and pretty cool that they're able to fit it all in just such a small package here. It uses a CR123 battery, very standard battery. That part was difficult to get this thing open to get the battery in. But once I did, no problems there. So it's cool that it uses a standard battery that you can get just about anywhere. Same battery that my EOTech uses. I like that. I'm very happy with this thing. It is not a full power unit like the HFXC here, and you can tell that, but it is 100% usable as a civilian powered unit. The HFXC is just ridiculous. But this thing, dude, I think for the price, for the size, it is a very good unit. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Those of you with night vision, those of you with laser aiming modules, what is your favorite laser aiming module under $1,000? Because there's a lot of very expensive ones, and now there are quite a few options that are less expensive. This one comes in well below $1,000, so that is really sweet. If it holds zero and holds up over time, then I think it is a great buy. So far, it has held zero and held up just fine. And like I said, this is the new one with the cross bolt, mounting system. But the GL4 has been on the market for a while, and people seem to trust them quite a bit. So I think we can assume that the new GL4 Pro, with just a different mounting system, is gonna do just fine. But of course, as with anything, if it does start to show issues, I will do an update video and let you guys know. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Make sure you subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.